I'd like to comment about the legislative discussion of allocation of money to the Minnesota Department of Human Services. The Minnesota Department of Human Services has several entities under them, including Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services Division. One of their core responsibilities is to provide grant opportunities. And I can show you the webpage for the Minnesota Department of Human Services Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services Division. There are several grants in which they run and administer, as you can see here while I scroll down. As we see, there are Family Mentor Services Grant. And this is what I would like to discuss today. This money should be reallocated to Minnesota State Academies to provide educators, resources, and outreach across the state of Minnesota. As you can see here, the Family Mentor Services Grant is one run by DHHSD. The money allocated for this grant is not permanent. The legislature decides how much money to allocate per fiscal year. From 2012 to 2016, a total of $501,000 was allocated for the purposes of this grant. From 2016 to 2021, $890,000 were allocated. From 2021 to 2023, approximately $400,000 will be allocated in order to provide services. However, I believe Minnesota State Academies is best fit to provide services to families and more. Currently, the grantee, Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota, or LSS, has a webpage as far as their Deaf Mentor Family Services. This grant includes several responsibilities that Lutheran Social Services have, including in different language, Somali and Hispanic. There are certain qualifications that they have to meet for the deaf mentors, as well as contact information. One thing I want to consider about the responsibility for this money going to a nonprofit should actually be transferred over to the Minnesota State Academies instead, as they may be best suited to provide services.